production.
Hi guys, and welcome back to Missed Profile. We're your hosts, Darlene
and Michi.
So today we're going to talk about a topic that is, we got a lot of emails, we got a lot of questions about it, so we decided to address it. We're going to talk about how do you know whether or not your first date is going well.
I mean, this topic is funny for me because I am an avid online dater currently, and you really don't know sometimes. Sometimes you think the date's going phenomenal, and you're like, why hasn't Johnny texted me yet? What's going on?
And it's been a month.
It's, like 3 weeks. But you just know sometimes in your gut feeling there probably is not going to be a second or third date. So Darlene and I are going to break down a few key areas that we've seen through some research and some articles and give you guys some real statistics and information about what's right and what's wrong.
And what the one thing you have to remember is I myself, and I know combined, how many first dates do you think we've been on?
Oh my gosh. Well, since I'm still single, probably. I don't know.
A couple years on me.
Yeah.
But I considered online dating like a part-time job. I was paying money, and the only recoup was a first date if you bought the meal. So I wanted to make sure to get my bang for my buck. So I was going on a lot of dates, and I had a lot of first ones.
There's tons of first dates, all the way down from what to wear, what not to wear, where you're going for the first date, how long do you want to stay there, should he drive, should you drive, should you guys drive together. I mean, there's so many different things. And plus, back in the day, people used to pick you up on a date.
God, thank God that doesn't happen anymore.
And nowadays, it's like, okay, do I Uber there? Should I drive this time? Whatever the situation is, you want to have that sense of control, which sounds ludicrous, but you're meeting somebody online and you really don't know who they are based on a couple conversations over the phone or some engaging conversations via text or whatever app you're using. The bottom line is you want to be able to bail out of the situation if need be.
And not be in the same car on the drive home.
Yeah, and that sounds bad, but trust me.
It's so true. It's so true.
From both parties, men and female, you want to be able to captivate yourself in that way where you can get out of the situation if you need to.
So I think the number one question that we've gotten was, how do you know the date's going well?
Absolutely.
The first date.
Absolutely. How do you know the date's going well?
Well, I think that when you go on a first date, depending on where you're at in life, there's like 3 camps that you're in, right? And some of this research we got from an article, and it was a study was put on by Dr. Paul Mungo, and it was pretty interesting. And he said the 3 camps are either the person's looking for a romantic partner, so they're looking for the chemistry there, or they're looking for bedroom chemistry, we know what that means, or they're looking for just a platonic friendship.
Absolutely. And it does steer in several different categories. And I think for us in our business, we focus on for future and for fun, which is very simple. It's either you're looking for the romance or you're looking just to hook up. And sometimes we've been there before, sometimes we haven't, to each his own, no judgment. But the bottom line is you're right. You know whether you're going to be attracted to somebody the minute you meet them.
Yeah.
And I think for the both of us, there's been some flawless pictures that we've seen, and lo and behold, you meet them in person, and you're like, this can't be.
Circa 1995?
Yeah, this can't be Marcus. Are you kidding right now? I'm still looking for Marcus.
Yeah.
Marcus?
Where's the candid camera at?
Marcus, am I on pumped right now? I mean, that's when you know that's probably not going to be the physicality that you're looking for in the relationship.
But it might lead to a friendship.
But at the end of the day, I know for myself, I'm not looking for any more friends. Drake said it best, no new friends, okay? And that's kind of what it comes down to, is either for future for me. So when I know I'm already not attracted to the person, my question is, and we've gotten this before, how long do you stay on the date?
Yeah, exactly.
What's fair? What's not fair?
Well, let's back up a little bit. So let's say you're on the date, right? How do you know that the person that you're with is just looking for sex or a one-night stand or to be intimate with something with legs?
Okay. That's a very good question. So number one, I think some of us have had this happen to us before, some not, whatever. But sometimes we drink heavily on a date. We might be a little nervous at first, but when you're hitting round number 3 and 4, and you're starting to get a little touchy-feely.
If your partner is taking shots or your first date partner is taking shots, there's probably something else on his mind than 3 months from now.
And if they're already approaching the date like, so what's your poison? That's not what I want to hear on a first date.
How do you like your eggs?
Do you need to sleep with covers or
little
without?
Plan B in your eggs?
Yeah.
Just kidding, guys.
I mean, it really does take an effect when you figure out what is this person's intention.
Yeah.
And for me, I don't like somebody who's too touchy-feely too quick.
Yeah, no way, neither.
I don't like somebody who is drinking profusely because that's just a turn-off.
Yeah.
And I don't like somebody complimenting me over and over again that's kind of inappropriate gestures, like, oh, you look really sexy tonight, or...
Because it feels like it's not genuine.
Yeah, it feels like it's not genuine.
Yeah.
And you might not even take to account what wardrobe I have on.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's certain things that really do bother me and make me think you're only looking for this to last for 1 or 2 nights.
So according to the article we read by Dr. Paul Mango, it was being too touchy-feely, so the guy reaching over, touching you, or the girl like playing footsies or something like that, drinking profusely, and let's see, not the questions they ask you. So the questions they ask are going to be along the lines of, what's your favorite movie? What do you like to do maybe on a Friday night? Nothing about the future, nothing about your family, nothing about your like political values or viewpoints. Yeah. So nothing too serious. Very light, very flirty talk.
Yeah. See, I'm not down for that. So Marie Claire had an article that talks about I think the 8 signs that you know this is going to be a tall tale of how your date's going.
Yeah.
And
it's written by a guy.
It's written by a guy.
Rich Santos.
And how they're kind of perceiving this is a couple of things we'll point out. Number 1, making sure you're going on a date that's a one-on-one date.
Yeah.
And not with a
If you say meet me at the bar with my friends,
that's the worst.
Yeah.
And that has happened to me before. I actually went on a date with this guy twice. And both times he decided to bring his boys along, which made no sense to me.
No, because he doesn't want you to himself.
No, he doesn't want me to himself. He's not focused on me. I'm not his attention. And where are we going to go from here?
Yeah.
So that was kind of like a huge red flag.
Yeah.
Another one is them extending the date. Whether it's a guy or maybe even a girl, if you're having a really good time, who is to say you can't carry the date on?
Yeah.
We go out for dinner and we're like, hey, let's go out for drinks somewhere else. Why not? Who
for
cares?
Coffee, a walk.
Or let's go for a walk. I mean, I don't know too many people who go to the movies anymore, but even if you went to the movies and you said, hey, let's go grab something to eat afterwards, you've now extended the date because you just genuinely adore or engage in someone else's company. You like their company. So that's one thing that is a huge plus. And something that I would recommend to always say for ladies as well. Suggesting another
date, so a second date or something in the future. What would be fun if we did this or that? That's a clue.
It's very important that you hear these types of things, and I think that sometimes the things that I look for on a date is, oh my gosh, when is he gonna ask me out on the second one?
Yeah, definitely.
And as much as I don't
We're
want to
listening with open ears for that,
exactly,
guys.
Listening
we
with open ears. As much as I don't want to say that I love telling someone, oh, I can't wait till our second date and get them all freaked out, it does sound good for it to come from the male, but a woman should do their due diligence too and let the guy know, hey, I'm having a good time.
Yeah.
I enjoy your company. I hope we get to do this again some other time. Maybe we'll go golfing. Maybe we'll go bowling.
Thank you so much for asking me out. I really appreciate it.
Oh my God, yes. Like, Dee brings up such a good point. Like, thank you for asking me out. A lot of women and or men don't say that enough.
Yeah, and I had a great time, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's so cliche, and you don't even know where the person's coming from.
No,
Yeah.
you have no clue. And lastly, just to round up a few more, is friendly follow-up. This is an interesting one. Sometimes a guy or a girl could say, you know what, I had a great time tonight. thank you so much. How is everything? And want to make sure you got home safely.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes down to it, that doesn't always mean they're gonna see you again.
No, but I think that if there's a friendly follow-up, like a text message,
Yeah.
hey, let me know you got home safely,
Mhm.
or I had a blast, just wanted to let you know again, looking forward to the second date.
Yeah.
Some kind of text message like that says a lot. If a guy or a girl's not interested, they're planning their ghost move. You know,
Right.
how do I get rid of them from my life, and how do I exit theirs? You know, so they're not looking forward to anything, and there's no coffee after dinner or anything like that.
But here's my take on it. I've had guys that have said, you know, I had a really great time tonight, and we never met ever again. And I've said the same thing too, like, thank you so much, because I want to be genuine, I want to be courteous. They might have paid for the date, and I want them to feel like, you know what, this girl was really nice, although the chemistry wasn't there and it didn't work out. She still was nice enough to thank me for the date, to make sure that I got home safely, and left it at that. But it doesn't always give me that feeling we're gonna see each other again, or I'm gonna hear from him again.
Okay.
So, but hey, I want to be as courteous as possible, because you never know when you can run into them again, or who they might know that you know.
Yeah,
I always say 6 degrees.
My now husband, the producer of the show, he texted me before I even got home the first date, and every morning after, he texted me, good morning, how are you doing?
And you know what?
Every single morning.
That's a true sign, though, that he was interested the minute he probably met you, or at least halfway through the conversation, or halfway through your date, that he's like, I know I want to see her again.
Mm-hmm.
Let me really prove to her that I want to see her again. And for ladies and gentlemen out there, it's important that you show your actions versus trying to tell you, I'm going to call you next Tuesday, I'm going to do this. I don't care what I'm going to do. The bottom line is, show me that you're going to do it.
If you say you're going to call me tomorrow, call me tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because
like,
you
make
already
it
lost
genuine.
points if you don't. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's nice for a guy to follow up by saying, hey, I'm going to ask her out on Tuesday for a Saturday or Friday date. That's good. That's really key to me. And that shows that he genuinely wants to spend time with you.
If it's Friday night, 10 p.m.
and he's like, yo, hey, what's up?
Yeah, we know where that's going.
Straight to the haystack. So, another thing that was brought up by Match.com was an article that focused on because love doesn't come with instructions. And oh, is that true? And it focused on really the best tips to what a man or a woman might be thinking throughout the date. And I think for myself, I'm so far into the future that I don't even have the time to think about for fun anymore.
Yeah.
And that, I will give you ladies, can be a tip that can scare men away.
Oh, for sure.
So
you don't want to be, so my first son is going to be named Todd. And there's going to be 3 of them, by the way. Like, you know, they don't want to hear that.
Yeah, you don't want to scare them off, and you want to make sure that although you are having a great conversation, you still want to be able to have enough allowance for them to ask questions about your life, and it's a kind of run vice versa. And I'm guilty of it. Sometimes I might ask questions that could be a dissertation to someone, and that probably isn't good enough, or going to be apt for that person at the moment. It's a little stressful at the time. So ease into your questions, don't make them too much, and really just have a genuine ping pong ball, tennis match that's going back and forth.
It's the first date. It's the first date. So, and then if you get asked on a date, don't worry whether or not that person's interested, because they asked you out on a date. So they're interested enough to ask you and to get over the fear of rejection they might have when you say no. If you say no. But they're asking you, so they're interested, you know, so get over that.
Action.
So Michi, I have a question for you.
Absolutely.
Tell me your worst experience on a first date.
Okay.
I have a couple, so you go, I'll go, you go, I'll go. We have all night.
I mean, okay, one that I can remember very well is I was having some drinks with my girlfriends, and I had a date. It was about 9 o'clock date. We both got off work a little bit late. I already was meeting my girlfriends for a drink as is. That was planned a while ago. And he had asked me on a date in the middle of the week. And I didn't want to pass up the opportunity. So I said, why not? And it was a very, very interesting work day. And needless to say, I wanted to cool down.
Yeah.
And happy hour, Uber, there's a lot of great formulas mixed in. And before I knew it, I was 2 martinis in. And a dirty martini, that'll get you a little buzz.
Yeah.
So I have 2 dirty martinis with my girlfriend.
Something you take slow.
Yeah, it's something you should take slow, and I definitely took it way too quickly. And I was rushing to get to the date anyway, so I took an Uber to the restaurant we needed to meet at. And of course, naturally, he's like, can I get you something? Can I order something? I would have said, yeah, let me get some H2O in my system. But unfortunately, I was just like, let me get a dirty martini.
Ooh,
so now we're on our 3rd dirty martini. And I just remember talking a little bit about where I was from. I'm from the city, so a little bit about where I was from, a little bit about what I did for work. And other than that, I don't really remember the rest of the night.
Oh, wow.
I was trying to put the pieces together.
Okay.
That was a little bit tricky. But I will tell you that I somehow made it home.
Good.
And I know that he dropped me off in the Uber. We both took an Uber together.
Okay.
And he dropped me off in the Uber because what I remember is him saying, good luck with everything.
In life. Get out of the car! Wow, that's a bad ending.
So I only remember a couple of things in the beginning, a couple of things towards the end, and all I remember is us taking the Uber together and him really being like, I wish you the best of luck with everything. And I couldn't know if I got promoted at a job. I was like, what are you congratulating and giving me good lucks to?
Oh,
so
wow.
I had a little bit too much to drink.
Okay.
And I never saw him again. And never heard from him again.
I think that's okay though.
Guess it was never meant to be. And although we did talk together sober, I'm thinking, why wouldn't you give me a second chance?
Yeah.
But he probably clearly thinks I'm like an alcoholic or something. So
Everyone has a bad day though. That's the thing.
maybe he didn't know I had a bad day. We don't know if he thought this was like a habit
Did you cry at all?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was laughing the whole time, but we don't know what I was laughing at. So I just remember him saying good luck with everything.
Okay. I think one of my worst ones was we were having actually a pretty good time.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like I don't know if it would have been a romantic chemistry kind of thing. But it was definitely at least a friendship, and we got along really well. And I think he liked me. Because at the end of the date, we were not even at a really, really, really expensive restaurant. It was Tantalum's. And we were getting the check. And he said, oh, no, I got it. Made the waiter give him the bill. And then he's getting his wallet out. And then but I asked him like 3 or 4 times. I always ask, hey, let me get half, Always ask. And he would not let me pay anything. And then he opens it. And then he says, oh yeah, maybe you can help me out a little bit with this.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, I know.
So after all that, he still needed to go Dutch.
Guess how much the bill was?
Maybe like $99.85.
$49.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
You know what?
And that was a few years ago, so maybe, I think he was at that point 30, 31. Mm-hmm. But still, he was a few years older than me. I would expect him to, he was older. I was like maybe 28 or so. He was older than me. He said he had a great job. So obviously there's some lies in there if you can't afford a $49 bill.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm. I know. I thought it was going to be out, maybe, did they bill us wrong or something?
Okay, well, another time I had a bad date. I was dating this guy he was from OkCupid.
Okay.
And on his profile, he mentioned that he was 6'3", 6'4", and I was like, oh my god, I love tall guys. This is going to be awesome. We've been talking now for about maybe a week and a half. We finally get our schedules together. We decided to go out on a date.
Okay.
So I meet him at a restaurant, and I'm so excited because I've never been to this restaurant before. and I was getting dressed up, wearing some cute Christian Louis Vuitton heels, and I knew that I was getting ready to kind of meet my boyfriend. I felt like that. The chemistry was right. We had such good phone conversations, and I knew that it was just going to be a good date. You know, just get that feeling. So I get to the date, I feel dressed up, I'm so ready to go, and he's sitting down, and he's like, oh, hey, Michi, I'm here. So he's kind of like waving me over, like kind of like a father would or something, right? Doesn't get up, doesn't greet me, doesn't come over to get me, just sitting down.
Yeah.
So we sit down, I lean over to give him a hug by where he's sitting, and then I walk over to my side of the table, or I guess the corner of the table. We're having this great conversation where it's going so well. He's very good looking. And all of a sudden, the waiter comes, brings some food, and the waiter must have dropped like a napkin or some utensil. And to not be rude, of course he's gonna go pick it up.
Okay.
He moves his chair out of the way, and he's like, ah! And he gets up. He must have been at least 7 inches taller than he said he was.
Or shorter.
7 inches shorter than he said he was.
Okay.
And I was like, but you said you were 6'3". And he must have been a good 5'7", 5'6".
Yeah.
And that's a little too short for me.
Yeah.
But he didn't seem like that necessarily at the table. It just seemed a little bit
Was that
off.
with his cowboy boots and lifts on?
I just knew that I was so engulfed with the way our chemistry was,
Yeah.
the way I saw him, and he really looked like his picture, and I was just excited to be around him that I didn't even think past, is this really your height?
Yeah.
And sure enough, he gets up, and
Yeah.
you are a little tiny person.
And that's why he didn't get up when
And that's why he didn't get up when he first came out. And now it all made sense. And although I was very sad when I got home, I couldn't talk to him ever
No,
again.
and integrity. You can't.
Honesty and integrity. Ladies and gentlemen, honesty and integrity goes such a long way. Please make sure you are who you say you are, and just be truthful.
Yeah.
Because I would have accepted him differently had he said, I'm 5'6", 5'7", versus lying about it dramatically and really creating this persona that you just weren't.
Yeah.
I'm only 5'1". I'm okay with short guys, but tell me that.
And you don't say you're 6'5" in your profile.
And I don't say I'm 5'5" or 5'6" in my profile.
One time we went on a date, and like we were having a great time. And it wasn't an outstanding time, but it was a good time. And we had dinner. We had maybe a glass of wine each. And then we met there. I Ubered there. And he drove. And so he's like, okay, you want to get another drink somewhere else? I'm like, sure, why not? And then I was just going to go with him in his car. And we go to his car, and he has a breathalyzer. You know the ones you have to blow into before you start the car? And you can't have any alcohol.
Why?
He's like, can you blow in this for me really quick?
Oh
I'm
my gosh!
Yeah, no.
Oh my god!
I know we ended the day right after that.
Yeah, bye-bye.
And
Yeah.
you have to be able to drive to work. And you're gonna risk like driving after when you already have
One
at least
drink.
that's at least 2 DUIs when they put that thing on your car. So
That's bad.
I know.
That's really bad. Well, yeah, that's one. I've had some incidences where a guy has been on a date with me but was still in a relationship.
Oh,
And
that's really bad.
oh my gosh, it was
And then she
really
shows
bad.
up.
She didn't show up, but there was conversations via his phone. There was conversations that he just was literally kind of blunt about on his phone while he was having, a sidebar conversation.
Yeah.
And it just was really no bueno.
And I think they seemed distracted because that's happened to me before too. And it was more than one date. That's why I knew that he was still in a pseudo relationship. But they seem so distracted. They have to keep their phone up because she might text.
Yes.
I was like, who is that? There's something fishy going on,
It was very fishy, and I didn't want to be so blunt and be that psycho girl.
Yeah.
So I let it kind of slide, but I could tell something was very fishy with him. And needless to say, that was our first and last date.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, email us if you'd like. We'd love to hear your stories and reach out to us for whatever reason you'd like for online dating. You can reach us at table for one. That's table for the number one at missprofile.com.
Or you can reach us at www.missedprofile.com and check us out on our website. And don't forget, don't be missed. Let us do it for you.
Yes, and Instagram,
Facebook,
and
Twitter. All of our accounts, you can check us out on our website. And we'd love to reach out to you guys, answer any questions that you have via email, or any other way you want to contact us.
Don't be missed.
Let us do it for you.